3:15 in the morning, March 13th, 1964, Queens, New York. A 28-year-old woman parks her red Fiat 30 meters from her door. She manages a bar, late shift. This walk takes 20 seconds. Tonight it will take over half an hour. She won't make it. A man steps out of the dark. His name is Winston Moseley. Her name is Kitty Genovese. Over the next 30 minutes, 38 neighbors will watch her die. No shouts, no calls, nothing. You know this story. The whole world does. There's just one problem. Almost none of it is true. 2 weeks later, this lands on the front page of the New York Times. 37 who saw a murder didn't call the police. Inside, it grows to 38 citizens watching a killer stalk and stab a woman. 3 separate attacks. Lights went on, he ran. Lights went off, he came back. Twice. One neighbor explains in 6 infamous words, "I didn't want to get involved." America loses its mind. Preachers quote it, professors teach it. The verdict, big cities murder the human soul. The story gets a scientific name, the bystander effect. It enters every psychology textbook on Earth. It even helps launch 911. Before it, America had no emergency number. For 40 years, nobody checks it. In 2004, a Queens lawyer named Joseph DeMay starts pulling the court files, not for fame. He just lives in that neighborhood. File by file, the most famous crime story in America falls apart. Problem 1. The third attack never happened. There were 2. Problem 2. The fatal attack happened in a narrow stairwell, invisible from the street. The spot where Kitty lay dying was visible from exactly one apartment. Problem 3. Most neighbors heard seconds of screaming at 3 a.m. through closed winter windows. Half of them thought it was a bar fight. There was a bar 50 meters away, but the biggest lie is what the article left out. During the first attack, a neighbor threw open his window and roared, "Let that girl alone!" And Moseley ran. At least 2 neighbors say they called the police. In 1964, such calls just vanished. And then there's Sophia Farrar, the friend the legend erased. She ran down into that dark stairwell, toward a killer for all she knew. Kitty didn't die surrounded by indifference. She died in the arms of a friend. So where did 38 cold witnesses come from? From a lunch. 10 days after the murder, the police commissioner has lunch with Abe Rosenthal, top editor of the Times. Between courses, he drops a number. 38 people watched and nobody called. Where he got it, nobody knows to this day. Rosenthal doesn't send fact-checkers. He sends a reporter with the ending pre-written. A perfect story about a heartless city. Too perfect to ruin with facts. The Times admitted the number was grossly exaggerated only in 2016, 52 years late. In the killer's obituary, here the story should end, another media lie. But it's stranger than that. 2 young psychologists read the myth, believed it, and stumbled onto something real. In 1968, John Darley and Bib Latané stage an emergency. A student over an intercom fakes a seizure and begs for help. People who think they're the only one listening. 85% rush to help. People who think 4 others can hear it too. 31. Same cry. Same people. The only change, the size of the crowd. Then they fill a waiting room with smoke. Alone, 3 out of 4 people report it. Next to 2 calm actors. 1 in 10. People choose breathing smoke over breaking the silence. They call it diffusion of responsibility. The more eyes on an emergency, the less each pair feels it's their job. Your brain quietly divides someone should act by the number of people watching. For 300,000 years that math worked. A cry in a camp of 50 meant you. In a city of millions, it divides your responsibility into dust. You felt it. The figure on the sidewalk. The thought, someone's probably already called. That's not your character. That's the mechanism. Now the darkest joke of all. Why did a fake story survive 40 years in the textbooks? Because every professor who printed it assumed someone else had checked. The myth of the bystander effect survived because of the bystander effect. But the real science comes with an off switch. The spell breaks the moment responsibility gets a face. Not somebody call an ambulance. That's addressed to no one. No one answers. You point at one person. You, blue jacket, call 911. A crowd of 38 collapses into one, and one almost always acts. If you ever go down on a crowded street, don't beg the crowd. Pick one face. Kitty Genovese is remembered as the woman nobody helped. But a neighbor shouted for her. Someone called. A friend held her at the end. People were better than the legend. The legend just sold better than the people. And it kept selling for 40 years because everyone who told it figured someone else had already gotten involved.